Welcome to OCR On the Ground, a practical web series made to help the new practitioner and returning recipient administer grant-funded projects. Today we'll discuss processing payment requests, or disbursements, for the Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG program. A quick disclaimer. This presentation is designed to be short and concise. It does not cover every aspect of the topic discussed. For that reason, we recommend that you check out the Grant Administration Manual at the link above. This is a disbursement form. This particular form, 1-4, is for CDBG funded housing activities only. You can find disbursement forms for each activity you are undertaking on our website at www.hcr.ny.gov. Form 1-5 is for infrastructure, facility, and community planning projects, while Form 1-6 is for economic development and micro-enterprise projects. Please be sure to always use the most up-to-date versions of the forms. You'll begin by filling out the first few rows with the drawdown number, the CDBG project number, award date, and contract end date. If this is your first disbursement, you'll simply type 1 for the drawdown number. Award date and contract end date can be found in the executed grant agreement. Note that our forms are fully fillable, so you should not have to manually type over any part of the form. The middle portion of the form, or section 2, is where you'll provide all the financial information related to the project. Column A is where you'll enter the approved CDBG budget. Column B tracks prior requests. Column C is where you'll enter your current request, while column D tracks current balances. The information in column D will calculate automatically. Each row is associated with the individual activities in your approved grant. Be sure to request funds based only on the budget approved as part of the executed grant agreement. For instance, if your project involves single-unit housing rehabilitation activities, you'll enter the total amount approved in column A. If you've already drawn down funds for this activity, enter that in column B. Enter in how much you're requesting in column C, and the balance left for that activity will automatically calculate in column D. If your approved budget included program delivery or administrative costs, you can also request that below. Finally, note that the total row will auto-calculate based on what you've already entered into the form. The remaining rows under Section 2 provide a place to indicate whether you have a balance of CDBG funds currently on hand, the amount of funds requested but not yet received, and the amount requested and received or paid out. Row 7, the amount of CDBG funds requested and received, will calculate automatically. Section 3 of this form provides name, date, title, and signature lines for those approved to sign disbursements on the authorized signature form. The authorized signature form should be with your executed grant agreement. Note that the chief elected official, or CEO, is never approved to sign disbursements. At least 2 signatures must be provided, and those names will be checked against the authorized signature form on file with the Office of Community Renewal. Finally, the form provides space at the bottom if you wish to provide any additional comments along with the disbursement. There is a second page to the CDBG disbursement form denoted by an A next to the form number. So for the housing disbursements, the second page is 1-4A. Like page 1, you'll fill out some basic information, including recipient, CDBG project number, and drawdown number. Make sure that this information is consistent with what you entered on the first page. The middle of the page is where you'll break down each expenditure. Starting with the row marked activity number, you will fill in the row for each expense. Let's fill this out using a single-family rehab invoice as an example. First, enter the activity number associated with your activity. You'll find that information on Schedule B to the grant agreement. Your primary activity will usually be 1, but be sure to check. Next, under expenditure description, provide a description of the expense you're requesting payment for. In this case, we'll indicate that this was housing rehabilitation and provide the name and address. Under vendor name, you'll list the name of the vendor who did the work or issued the invoice. Date paid payable is the date that the invoice or bill is paid, or the date it will be paid. Depending on your financial processes, this date may relate to the next time the local governing body is able to approve bills for payment. Next, under Check Invoice PO, you'll type in the invoice number as applicable. If no invoice number is available, providing a date is okay. Finally, the amount you're requesting for that particular activity or expense will be added under CDBG funds expended. Other expenses can be listed down the page as needed. Please list items fully and completely. Try to group like activities together. Note that the cells in this section do not auto-calculate. At the bottom of the page, you'll list the total amount requested for each activity. You can combine the amounts that you provide in the section above. In the example that we used in the last slide, all of the rehabilitation expenses we wish to draw down equal $22,000, so you'll simply type that into the first cell. Next, we'll enter in the $4,000 for program delivery. And for program delivery only, be sure to also list that amount in the program delivery row just below. Then we'll add the administration amount. And notice that the totals will auto-calculate to the right. Finally, the person who prepared the form will fill in the information at the bottom. Please remember that with each draw, you must include all backup documentation to support the expenses you're requesting disbursement for. That includes, but is not limited to, purchase orders, bills, invoices, receipts, certified payroll, or pay apps. If you can't document it, you cannot pay it. This includes all staff time charged to program delivery or administration. Note that all disbursements must be sent via email to disbursements@nyshcr.org. Thank you for your time today. If you have any further questions, you can send them to ocrinfo@nyshcr.org, or you can call us at 518-474-2057. You can also visit the OCR website at the links on the slide.